Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Principled podcast. Today is season 2, episode 6, and we are joined by a guest that needs very little introduction, especially if you are a hockey fan. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer, a Hart Trophy winner, and recently named one of 100 greatest NHL players in history. Everyone, let's welcome Eric Lindros.
Thank you very much, Grace.
Eric, we're so happy you're here.
Good to be here.
You've been really busy lately. You are doing keynotes, you are advocating for Rowan's Law, concussion research. It's amazing. You could just take a little bit of time to come and speak with little old me. It's a quick commute.
I'm here every morning.
It's a quick commute,
Yes.
Listen, I want to say, Eric, the first time I met you, it was hilarious to me. And you were such a humble guy. In the Miramichi, we'd say you're a prince of a guy. And I'm going to tell our listeners about this story so they can share in my embarrassment. So, listeners, I met Eric, such a nice guy, so humble. I was talking to him and his lovely wife, and his wife was saying, oh, well, we're really interested in athletics, like obviously, because of my husband's background in athletics. And do you remember what I said? I hope you don't.
I don't.
Oh, thank God. Because I said to you, oh my God, wow, like doing, like, what's your background in athletics?
That's all good.
And you said so humbly, like you could have been like, I'm Eric Lindros. But no, of course you didn't do that. You were so humble. You said, well, like I like hockey, and I used to,
dabbled in hockey.
I dabbled in hockey. I used to be an athlete, and then I made it worse, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I used to be an athlete too. I played rugby in university for St. Thomas. Where did you play?" And you were like, "The NHL."
But and we'll get into this. But the level doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. But you were so kind because and to be fair, like just so everyone doesn't think I'm a total idiot, I haven't been in Canada in like 20 years, right? Yeah. So I'm like out of the loop. But then I put it together and I was like, Eric, I was like, you're Eric Lindros. I'm so sorry. But you were so good about it. You didn't make me feel like a dummy. And
it's been a quarter century since I
no
got a paycheck.
No, stop. You're a legend, but you didn't act like one. You were so the opposite of a diva.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
Yep.
You're, as we would say, like I said, in the
Here we are.
Here we are with a prince of a guy on the Principal podcast. Well, Eric, let's just jump right into it.
Sure.
Do you think? People still talk about, that era of the power forward. Mm-hmm. And many people say that you didn't just like play that role, you really changed it. And people highlight your strength, how you physically kind of took over the game, you were a force. But for people who really understand hockey, they see it as a little bit more. Like they see you as playing chess when other people were playing checkers and really understanding the game and how smart you were on the ice. So my question for you is like, how did your success evolve in that way? Were you born with that kind of just like hockey athletic IQ, or did you have to build that over time through coaching and experience?
I'm sure that I had great coaching. For the most part, I had terrific coaches. I had people that gave their time, offered their insights. Larry Marson is the name that comes to mind. He was a power skating coach out in Scarborough. He was my assistant coach in Oshawa. Right. He wouldn't leave the rink until we were done hitting one-timers. He wasn't getting paid extra.
Yeah, tenacious.
He just wanted the kids to do well. And if you wanted to stay out there and you wanted to do extra, the only thing was, how many, and if we needed a new stick because we kept going through sticks, our trainer, Cheto, was always there.
Right.
It takes a group. Yeah. So I think you're born with a certain element and you're born with, some people are procrastinators and they've always been procrastinators. Some people are a little bit more aggressive than others.
Right.
I think you're born with certain things.
Yeah.
But you do tweak.
It can be cultivated.
I think it can be, to a certain extent, yeah.
Which part do you think you were born with, and which part do you think was kind of like cultivated over time?
Oh, I think both my parents are athletic. And I say that I'm not going to
like
say
in the Grace way or in the Eric Lindros way.
No, my dad was drafted professionally in football in the CFL in the second round, and despite telling him that he wasn't going to go because I think a teacher was making more money than the CFL players were, and
that's saying a lot.
He's saying a lot. Okay. And my mom she ran track and whatnot. So I came from, two parents that were very athletic. And I think that was a bit of a head start. My dad would spend numerous hours with us.
Yeah.
not just myself, my brother, and if my sister wanted to do something, he was always there as well. My mom was constantly driving, and she knew the game and understood. It's one thing to talk about goals. We all focus on the end result, but my mom would understand, the block shot, the chip play, the back check,
right?
And things that aren't celebrated on TSN or Sportsnet, and then the clip that goes through that we see every morning.
But the things you have to know.
Well, you have to know and have to do.
Yeah.
And she was really good at that part. So the car rides were
educational.
It was good. And my parents they were on it.
That's really interesting. It's interesting. I didn't realize both of your parents were so athletic.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to grow up. So your mom really was really influential in kind of getting you to understand the nuances of that game.
Well, it all started because I just was super, I'm going to go with active as a kid.
Spirited, we like to say.
Okay, spirited, whatever you want. And to get me to go to sleep at night, I had to have a certain amount of outdoor time and skating. We just go skate, go skate, go skate, go skate.
Go get your energy out.
Go skate. And we had a great rink in the backyard at 300 Victoria Street in London. And had a blast. And then when we moved to Toronto, the guy, the person that Mr. Wood that owned the place prior, he was an older gentleman, and he made the pool a little bit small. So my dad filled in the pool, and we had a rink in the backyard there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was great.
It's like quintessential Canadian childhood.
Well,
that's cool.
It wasn't, they didn't have the academies back then.
Yeah.
They didn't have the extra. So if you wanted to do extra, it was...
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. And then we had the little rink over at Forest Hill.
Right.
We used to run it for $25 an hour on Monday mornings, and the whole, 5-7 people from the neighborhood would...
Yeah.
We'd all go in there and skate on the little rink, and my dad would run a little bit of a practice. And
how fun.
Yeah, it was great. Loved it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
We think about soft skills, and I hate that term, soft skills. I think we talk about them, and they're really the important skills, the critical skills. So let's call them power skills. And at Branksome, we think of this school as a place where kids have to practice real life. We have to set them up for what's going to happen after they leave us. Mm-hmm. They have to learn, how do I deal with a setback? How do I start again after I failed? How do I take feedback seriously and not kind of crumple when I hear it? Mm-hmm. How do I work with people that I don't agree with, maybe I don't like? Mm-hmm. How do I stay open rather than be defensive? And we call these soft skills, but they're often the hardest ones to teach, right? Yeah. So looking back, what did sports teach you about all those skills that you maybe wouldn't have learned if you were just in the classroom?
I think that... Just to start off, we got to start with time management.
Yeah.
School always came first. If I didn't, back in the day when an 80 was an 80, if we didn't have an 80 average, I was missing practice, and it would crush me.
Right.
So time management was really key in terms of if you wanted to do extra hockey, you had to make sure that your homework was done. So it was, when is something due? Mm-hmm. What's most pressing?
Yep.
What's going to take you the most time? Where can you do it? Can you do it in the car? Can you do it somewhere else? Or do you need to have the books with you? We had we didn't have the internet.
You had all these books.
So you had to manage where you're going to do what you needed to do and the timing of it all.
Yeah.
And that's a big step too, right? When are you going to do your off-ice workouts? When are you going to do your extra? So if you can manage time, that's a huge benefit, because then you're not stressed at night. You're laying in bed going, I didn't quite get that done. This project's due tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I got a test, and you're stressed, and then you don't have a good sleep, and then it just snowballs into a
cycle.
Trouble.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that's one element. You talked about doing something that you don't necessarily agree with. And that's a hard one. And coaches, the best coaches that I had, you could speak up. The best coaches I had, they wanted your input. They wanted, you could ask questions. And if you thought why are we doing this? This seems very defensive to me. What is your thinking behind this, coach? You respect your head coach. He's your coach.
Yeah.
And when he tells you to play A, B, or C, that style, you play that, or you're not playing.
But it's still safe to ask why.
You have to ask why, and that way you buy in. If you can, because the reason I'm asking why isn't, I'm not agreeing with you, but maybe you can alter my thinking, and I can better understand your thinking as to what am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, you're not being combative. You want to understand.
So if we can teach to be open to that, it's not just my way or the highway from the instructor side or from sometimes the teacher side, then I think it breeds the avenue for more people to jump on board.
Yeah, I think it's really important for girls. When we think about being in an all-girls institution, we want these girls feeling comfortable and knowing that it's really good to ask questions, push back, ask why. It doesn't mean that you're aggressive, doesn't mean you're angry, doesn't mean you're combative. It means that you're invested. You want to know more about the why. You want to be able to buy in. I think it's so critical when you look at that gender aspect as well. Yeah, so important. We were talking a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about something I thought was so interesting. Elite athletes, but not just elite athletes, like everyone, no one's functioning at 100% every day.
No.
Right? Like
no.
I'm about 63% today.
And in life too, right? Like no one at all.
No one. And we were talking about like that champion's mindset. It's really more about consistency than it is about perfection all the time. What did consistency actually look like for you day to day, especially when your motivation was low or when you were not at 100%?
You simplify. In a game or in a pro game, you simplify what you want to accomplish. If you've had the flu for a few days, you're gonna shorten your shifts. Two, you're gonna everything off the ice you're gonna do. You're gonna hydrate. You're gonna do absolutely everything possible to put yourself in the best possible situation. And then during the game, you simplify. You haven't been on the ice probably for the previous practice or two, so your hands aren't going to be the same. So don't be trying. Think possession. Don't think high risk.
Right.
Think how do we, let's just simplify your game. And then, what do you expect of yourself? You go into practice, you're not feeling well. Get through it. Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Try to implement fun all the time with whatever you do. And some days are not fun.
Yeah.
Some days are rough, and that's when you kind of rely on your teammates. In many cases, there's always somebody that's having a good day, right? So you feel that energy, and you
rely on them.
Well, you do, and you also need to be open that you're not feeling well, and you hear someone bark at you, that you're receptive to the bark, and we are the sum of all our parts. Everybody's important. We all need to be pushing.
Yeah,
and you're not feeling great. We still need you to push.
I think it's such important advice. I think it'll really resonate, especially with our students right now, because I think our students feel like they're looking around like, I have to be at 100% all the time. And they're really pushing themselves to do that. I think it's okay to give yourself permission to say, what, I'm not at 100% today, but I can still bring everything I've got to this day. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to look perfect all the time.
No, not
Consistency is way more important than perfection. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's interesting for them to hear your mindset on that of like, you might not bring it all every day. That's okay.
Well, it's not that you bring it all. Your body just can't give it.
Yeah.
But your mind and your heart can. In athletics, in the school, it might be a little bit different, and things trickle, and you go down different tributaries or whatever. But in athletics, if your body can't do it, you can still be there. You can be present in your mind, and you can give full heart.
Yeah. Yep. And you also kind of touched on prioritization. Like when you're feeling this way, you've got to be like, all right, I can give my mind and my heart, and I'm going to have to prioritize what I can do today on the ice or on the classroom.
Sure.
Like I might not be able to do this, but I can this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's really
important. It's okay to ask for help too. That's the other thing, right? Like even the best players watch film.
Right.
Even the best players seek outside advice and seek help from their coaching staff.
Right.
It's okay to ask for help.
They're humble enough to ask for
That's
expert
why they
help.
Get better.
Right.
That's why and that's an advantage. The ones that sit there and they come out of junior and I know it all.
Yeah.
You're going to stay basically where you're at. But if you're open to receiving the advice, if you're proactively chasing help, people want to help you because
who did you chase from? Like who did you ask for some advice?
Oh, tons of people. Tons and tons of people, and being open to what veterans say.
Yeah.
Not just in a team on ice philosophy situation, but especially off ice.
Yeah.
Being a really young captain is hard. You've got grown men, they got the kids. There's a whole new world going on over there, and you're a 22-year-old, 23-year-old captain, you rely on the veteran guy. You have to be open to hearing what they're saying and why they're saying it. And don't be afraid to ask why again.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe this makes sense. Some of them, no, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe in that. And I hear your why, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's
you
fine
don't
too.
always have to
You
agree
don't
with
have
it.
to, no.
Yeah. Feedback's a gift. You don't have to agree with it.
But you should seek it.
You should
and
seek
be open
it.
to it.
There's it's an interesting concept right now. It's like making its way through corporations, and I've just been interested. It's called like reverse mentoring. So rather than like a veteran giving mentorship to one of the new kids, it's kind of like veterans seeking advice from some of the new people coming in. How do you feel about that concept?
I think it works both ways, but I don't think that we can ever get rid of historical knowledge.
Yeah.
There's certain businesses that are, they're in cycles.
Yeah.
And somebody somewhere in this office has been through this and seen this. What have they learned from that time? Because we are entering that cycle.
Yeah. That historical knowledge is so important.
Vital.
Yeah, it's vital. In schools too. It's key. I think who comes to mind is Carrie Weinstock. Have you met Miss Weinstock? Miss Weinstock has been here, I'm going to get it wrong, I'm going to say 44 years this year. Maybe it's 43. And she is such a keeper of Branksome's history, of Branksome's knowledge. She's so engaged. She's so switched on. And we rely on her constantly for her perspective, because when you know the history of an institution or a game or a skill or a school, you have a balcony view that's different.
You do.
Right?
Yeah.
Like your balcony view is very, very clear.
Yeah. And athletically, things may tweak.
Yeah.
But what works when it's time to really play will consistently work.
Yeah.
There's that part doesn't change.
Those universal truths. Interesting. I'm curious about your thoughts about, like, we're talking a lot about how we're navigating mindset, how we're pushing ourselves and our students, whether or not maybe at 100%. From your experience, where is that healthy line in supporting young people, but also pushing them in a way that ensures we're developing that resilience and that grit?
I think it all comes back to fun. A lot of it is fun, and making sure they start from that base point. If you're not having fun, it's not for you. But as you climb and as you get older, as you mature, you need to buy in and give it. It's okay to give yourself into fall short. Right. That's. I was thinking about a whole bunch of analogies yesterday. Let's go with baseball then. Jays go out and they have a 100-win season. Right. 162 games in a year, 100 wins. That's, a huge number. But really, mathematically, they've lost 60. Right. That's a big number too. Right. So even to have great success means that you have had losses along the way. And it's okay to have those losses as long as you're taking something from the losses that applies to you building up to that 100 number. Right. So we're going to lose all the time. Yeah. I mean, the Olympics is a great example. The opening and closing ceremonies. The closing ceremonies are vital because I think that it gives people a chance. You acknowledge those that won, and hats off to them. They are the best. They're the best. But it's also a chance for yourself to acknowledge that you didn't and maybe reflect on why. Right. Why and what could I do personally to do things differently in the future? What can I take with me into my training? What can I do and maybe you'll never win, but you'll get better. Right. But if we skip that, we skip the appreciation of that, and if everyone just gets a ribbon and wins all the time, and we're not growing grit. We're not growing the ability to rebound. We're not growing the ability to fight. It becomes about entitlement then. Yeah. 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 I think of Lisa Brunga. She's our grade 12 student right now who's at the Olympics. And I think about her coming back and everything she's going to have learned from this experience. It'll be amazing for her. And she's going to come back a different kid. Yeah. I mean, she's already incredible. But she's going to come back and go, wow, like, look at this experience. I'm going to process this. I'm going to take all these takeaways, everything I've learned, and it's going to make her even better. I mean, she's already an Olympian, but it's going to make her better. And I just think of that, like what you're talking about, and really processing
the wins, whether you won a medal or you didn't. If you didn't, there's so much to learn. It's still such a gift and a valuable experience.
And then in the school environment, sometimes we're just looking at what is the lowest bar and how can we keep them, things happy. Sometimes we've got to split a class in two and say, all right, these people are way better at this than this group. And let's do something with this group that is at a
differentiated.
And that's okay too. That's fine. But let's not be afraid to push those that want pushing, those that are eating. You can tell the ones that are eating it up.
And celebrate the ones that are at that level to make sure they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big day in school. This one won cross country. This one won whatever. They worked hard to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's not easy.
You don't have to dull someone's shine just because we're worried about how it might reflect on other kids. I mean, that's not the point.
It's okay to push kids.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's okay to push.
Yep.
And therefore, it's okay to fail.
100%.
It is okay to fail.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And when we talk about pushing those kids, stretching. You've spoken a lot about not specializing too early.
Yeah.
And like your belief in the total athlete. And I'm curious about the value of discomfort here. I think it's really interesting.
It's good to be just uncomfortable.
So good, right?
I played basketball, and I don't think I saw a second half.
Right.
I fouled out all the time.
Right.
There were some really good kids in there, and I didn't understand.
Yeah.
But you give yourself up to it. And did I continue for 3-4 years? No.
Right.
It wasn't for me, but I went to baseball. I went to other things. I went to water skied all the time. Anything that was athletic, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
And you weren't good at all of them.
No.
Right.
But you figure out a way, right? Like even if you join the local tennis, city park thing, and you join up and you hit balls, and you're not. Yeah. You didn't grow up hitting tennis balls. You're not getting private lessons, but you're going over there and
you're giving it a try.
I'm going to try, and I'm going to do my best to beat you. I'm coming for you.
I wouldn't play tennis with you.
Well, I tried everything. Like I remember going to a final in one of these city things, and this one kid was really intimidating. He had a really big serve, and I'm trying to think of what I can do here. And I went around my house, and he'd come in with this racket. His bag full of, a couple of different rackets. So I went around the house and grabbed all their family's rackets, and I put them in a bag, and I walked in and,
I've got more rackets than you.
I don't know how old I was. I was like 12,
I can just picture you 12 years old. You're like, I'm going to get in your head.
But all the stuff, you get into different situations. You learn from different coaches. Everyone's got a different approach to it. Many of like basketball truly relates to puck movement in hockey, lacrosse especially.
Right.
Football's got its pros, and there's a lot of crossover in football, and there's a lot of athleticism that lends itself to other sport.
Transferable skills.
For sure.
But what about that, like transferable? It's not a skill, I guess, maybe it is, of being uncomfortable. But here you are, like carrying this massive bag of tennis rackets to intimidate a 12-year-old.
Even the ones that had the wooden frame.
The little ding, ding, ding.
Like I took everything.
Like, doesn't matter. I use it for my special skill.
For my drop shot.
You think about like putting yourself in those situations. You're uncomfortable. Yeah. How did that help you in hockey? Well, those might not have been your sports, but then you must have been able to transfer some of that.
Well, it's okay. You're not going to win all the time.
Yeah.
Right. But what did you learn from losing.
Yeah.
You truly do. You learn a lot from losing, and lost a lot.
Yeah.
It happens.
I wonder if that's why you have such a lack of ego. You're just like, well, it is what it is. Like maybe you learned that from sport as well. Like all those different sports and having those uncomfortable.
I think it's better to teach. It's better to learn if everything is downplayed.
Yeah.
If you walk in and you drive into the rink and you've got the big fancy car and you're dressed to the nines and you're acting this, that, and the other way.
Yeah.
You're not relating.
Yeah.
I think you lose a bit of the relation.
You're just not relatable.
It's not there.
Yeah.
So, it's you got to take everything into account when you go into a situation that you want to succeed in, both as an athlete and as someone that's coaching or trying to teach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or trying to achieve any goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the goal of coaching is to have your kids be way better than they were when they first met you.
Like teaching. That's exactly it. So let's talk a little bit about grit. specifically, because we've talked a lot about that in terms of like what I'm really wanting these girls to have when they leave Branksome.
Mm-hmm.
Early in your career, you faced huge pressure. You faced serious physical setbacks, but you didn't stop, came back stronger. How did you do that? Like, how did you build that mental resilience to keep coming back?
I was really good at it until the concussions when I was in my, late 20s, early 30s.
Right.
That's when I had a really hard time.
Right.
Being able to be positive and to I wasn't the same person. But prior to that, I don't know if it was planned or if I was I didn't even know if I was going to play pro until I was about 16. I was in my billet's house in Oshawa, and I was laying in bed, and I was just got a paper and pen out. And, maybe I can make a career out of this. I'm looking and
like mapped out a little plan for yourself.
A little plan. I gave myself a little 10-year NHL plan, and I did. I did. And I
Do you still have it?
I don't think so, but I was about 16, and I said, I think I can
do something with this.
Yeah. And I had just been traded to Oshawa.
Right.
And, we had played about 15, 20 games and getting to know the guys, and I'm feeling comfortable with it. And I'm seeing who's been drafted, and if they're being drafted, I'm pretty good. But I didn't think that I was King Tut by any stretch. And certainly when I was younger, I always played with older players that, like at St. Mike's, when I played junior B, I was 15,
right? And
there were 20-year-olds on the team, and that you learn a lot.
You know your place.
Yeah. Like when I rode my bike with my my mom's basket, the 3-speed rally, they'd stick it up in the rafters and tape it all up.
What was your mom's bike?
I did.
What color was it?
It was blue.
Perfect. With a
little
the basket.
But no, I didn't think anyone would steal.
Rackets in the basket.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, the rackets are done after the coach name was Arthur, and you won a can of tennis balls if you won the tournament. That's how big it was.
A can of tennis balls.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep.
Quite the prize.
Yeah, it was. But no, you're exposed to older people. You pick up on. You learn a lot being around older people.
Yeah.
You truly do.
Yep.
So anytime that there's an opening, if there's a school situation here and a couple kids are sick and the grade 11 team is doing something and you have 3 spots available, bring up 3 from the grade 10 team. Like fill it up. The more you're exposed to the older people, the better it gives them, the 11s, a chance to mentor a little bit maybe, or show dominance.
I see it right now on our rowing team. We've got lots of new girls this year, and they're learning so much from those veterans.
Yeah.
And they do this weekend away. It's like a team building weekend. They go away together.
Sure.
And a lot of those new girls came back, and they were like, oh, I really feel part of the team now.
Good.
Like they needed that advice, that time, that mentorship.
Sure.
But really looking up to those girls, they're learning a ton.
Well,
and it gives our older girls as well that position of like –
you
authority and leadership.
It's not authority, but it's leading.
It's leadership.
It's
absolutely.
Leading.
It helps them to feel they've got a place of
you're
leadership.
Important. Everyone's important. You're important for this reason and multiple others. You are important for other for this reason and the cycle goes.
And I think that's the beauty of sports in schools and why it's so important is you're going through this whole cycle if you're committed to a sport. You go in, you're brand new, you're kind of the rookie. You're learning the ropes, you're looking up to veterans, but you're going through this cycle of like failure, grit, learning new skills, getting coaching, getting feedback. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly you're in that position of being a veteran and you get to see that whole cycle all the way through.
And you know what it's like to be the youngest one and have, if it was a bad situation and someone wasn't very kind, you know what it feels like to be in that. And you will definitely not, you don't wish that on anyone. So hopefully things improve. It's
all those skills and it's the character building I think you're talking about as well. Like that character building that goes through that full cycle of rookie to veteran sports. Yeah. You can't replicate that. Like it's so fundamental to who you become as a person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
But it's hard to change the cycle too, in the sense that when you win, you have in your school has success, or it's known historically as having success. It's easy to breed that push.
Yeah.
Schools that don't have it, it's hard to
get it going,
change the mindset and to spark it.
Right.
So finding wins within losses, breaking down what is great within a loss and building on those little parts of great until they become wins.
Those little wins to get a big win.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you've
That's
got
well
your
said.
culture. Then you've got your culture.
That's really well said. I think that's really key. I don't know that schools are thinking of it in that way, and I think we should, because, you know, not every school can be the number one sports school. It's not about that. It's about so much more. And so much that we've talked about today, the underlying part. It's not always about the big win, although those are really nice. Mm-hmm. It's really about everything that's underpinning it.
Well, it goes to your third question of dealing with others, working in groups. Mm-hmm. There's not the girls go off into the workplace. How many are going to work alone? Yeah. We need each other. We rely on each other. There is a cycle within that too. Yeah. Within the, you know, like everything builds on the next. And having a chance to, you know, you go in for job interviews. How many people applied for your job?
I think a lot.
200? 150?
Probably.
There's one winner.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one winner. How many people ski? Mm-hmm. There's one winner in the down, you know, like there's only one. So everyone else failed in some people's eyes. Right. Right. But
they can choose to look at it in a different way.
You can choose to look at it way differently. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
But it's okay not to, I'm not saying you don't pack it in, but it's okay to take a lump every once in a while, because you're going to take lumps as you go on. You're going to take more lumps.
It's okay to feel it.
Oh, it hurts. It still hurts.
It hurts. It stings. But then you also
hate a loss in a day. I know you do.
I hate it.
I can't stand it. Yeah. It drives me nuts. Yeah. But what are we going to do now?
You've got to recover. Pivot? I don't think it's about glazing over, like, okay, I didn't win, like, I have to suck it up. It's okay to feel it, but you also have to have that mindset of, like, okay, I'm giving myself some time to feel this, and then I got to move on. I've got to move on and think about how I'm applying this to, like, the rest of my life. I think sometimes you can get stuck in a loss.
You can.
And you can really ruminate on it. Mm-hmm. I think it's okay to do that for, like, a period of time, but you've got to have that mindset
the energy
of, like,
you.
It does. It's like an energy
and I'm horrible.
vampire.
I still struggle with you know,
like shutting it off.
Well, yeah, let's move on. Let's pivot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. Whenever we're starting off the school year in any of the schools I've worked at, I often start by reminding the teachers and our colleagues and myself, like, we have such a responsibility here at school. We are influencing these wonderful kids. We have a great privilege to do that. And I often think about a teacher I had in high school. Her name was Mrs. LeBlanc. She was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I was just, you know, maybe didn't see a ton in myself. I think it's normal as a teenage girl sometimes. I was sitting in a grade 10 classroom. It was the first day of school. And she walked by, because she taught advanced English, and I was in, like, a regular English class. She walked by, and she kind of did a double take, and she was like, Grace, what are you doing in there? I was like, I'm sitting in class. I didn't know what to say. And she's like, you shouldn't be here. You should be in my advanced English class. I know you. You can do that class. Why aren't you in it? And I was like, I don't know. And she came in, she was like, she's not in this class. And she took my bag and she took me by the shoulder and she marched me into her class. And she's like, you're in this class now. I can guarantee you, Eric, she doesn't think about that. I think she wouldn't remember it. Yeah. I think about that moment
all the time,
many days of my life. Yeah. Because it influenced every single thing I've done afterward.
Sure.
Who did that for you? Like, was it a coach? Like, who helped you to see?
There were times when things weren't going well, and I was struggling and looking for the rescue boat at times, even as a kid.
Right.
You know, I didn't grow till later, and I grew about a foot in a year, and talk about awkward on the ice. And I was not the player that I was before. I mean, and that's another thing everyone needs to take into account is the cycle of, you know, what are kids going through?
Yeah.
You know,
even that's just the physical growth.
Right. It's, you know, how much sleep are they getting? Where are they at? And it's constantly changing. That barometer is always moving.
Right.
And I'm, you know, my guys are, Carl's 11 and the twins are 10. So they're right in that, you know, you can see them, they'll shoot up, you know, 3 months, they're growing an inch and a half, and then things will settle down. Right. Yeah. Like it's always, and then they're getting tired and they're getting, you know, they're going to sleep maybe a little bit later or you know, what cycle are we working on here? And how can we alter it?
All changing.
Everything's moving. Yeah. Everything's moving. And we got to take that into account too. Every kid is a little bit different than the other.
Right.
Yeah, we can group it all together and say, you know, in grade 9, this is what grade 9s go through. But within that, there are
lots of different individual things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I think it's really interesting when we think about like that mentorship and just the power of seeing something in someone and how key that is. And you were saying so many people you've relied on, you've had some rough goes. And we were talking earlier, a couple questions ago, we were talking about, you said, yeah, it was easier for me to kind of recover my mindset in some of those earlier struggles. And then later on, you were saying late 20s, early 30s.
My 30s, I had a harder time. I had a harder time coming back. Once you lose your timing.
Yeah.
So the difference between professional athletes is very little. And
like, what would you say, a 1% differential?
It's not much, right? It's not much. There's a lot. It's your timing. It's your ability to see things and to react while it's going on, and then having thinking about what you've seen previously and people's tendencies.
Yeah.
Right? That plays a big part.
And you felt you lost that?
I did.
Yeah, and that was hard to get.
I felt hard. I had a tough time getting back my timing. I wasn't thinking. My hands weren't as fast, and my ability to think on the ice in that split second was diminished. And so I could still play.
But that was your major strength.
But that's the big. But that, and then when you have that, everything else falls into place, so that you're skating harder. Everything builds on something. So when you lose one piece, it really has a ripple effect on the whole thing. And self-confidence was tricky. How did you get that back? Because you didn't stop. You kept going. I kept playing, but I wasn't nearly as good as I was.
Right.
I just loved the game.
Yeah.
Until my last year, when I never looked at the clock at practice.
Right.
I love practice. Practice is the best. Absolutely. Like, you say what you want about games and wins and this and that. I had so much fun at practice. I had great teammates, some really terrific guys.
Yeah.
And the training staff. You want to know what's going on in a team, and you want to, the guys that are your equipment manager, your training staff, those guys are vital to you having any sort of success. And they're wonderful, wonderful people. They just want to help the team.
And it's the quietest part of, like, no one sees them. They're kind of quiet sometimes. They're not like out there.
But they're not flamboyant.
But they have a big impact.
Huge responsibility and a huge impact. And just they'll see certain things and just give you a little, a quick word of advice or something.
Yeah.
And this is the equipment trainer talking to a captain of a team, and you take it, and it's like it was important.
Yeah.
Right. Like everyone
plays their part.
Everyone plays a part.
But
if you think that you're better than everyone else, they're not going to come and help you and approach you and say, "Listen, I think this might work. What do you think?"
Right. Because you're not approachable.
Because you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I've been thinking a lot about our GYs, our graduating year girls.
Okay.
And our grade 11 girls. There's a lot of stress. It's a stressful time. And I think they hear a lot of messages from people like, "Oh, you're in your senior year. Oh, this is the best. I wish I could go back to my senior year. This is the best time of your life." And I have a different perspective because I get to see it every day. Like, if I wasn't in this job, I might say the same thing to them. But I look back and I see them and I'm like, there are parts of this year that are super joyful for sure. But darn, this is a stressful time.
No kidding.
Like, it's so uncertain. They don't know. They're feeling so much pressure. They feel like if I don't choose the right university, if I don't choose the right program, and it's not true. They can always change their mind. We remind them of this. But the pressure to them feels so extreme right now, and I really, really feel for them.
That's too bad. Yeah,
it's hard. It's just the way it goes. But I'm curious about, like, your advice. Like, what do you think? Performing when the lights are the brightest. Like, for them, the lights are the brightest right now. How do you steady yourself when everything feels on the line? And what would you say to our girls who are feeling a lot of pressure right now? Because you've had so much experience with this.
There's things that you can control and things you can't.
Yeah.
There's things that are going to happen that you just never thought were going to happen, and you're going to have to deal with them. But the things that you can control, what goes into getting the most out of your body and your mind is, your nutrition, your sleep, and things that your time management.
Yeah.
All those things you can control. And if you need help, I'm sure there's people here to help set it up. Tons of people to help set you up and get you a grid and work something out and show you little tricks. And if there's extra help needed, then Branksome wants you to do great. So listen,
Yeah.
come on in for an extra 30 minutes of this and we'll figure this out, or, this is available to you on the weekends. This person is whatever the resources are. Then you're going to have the storm that shows up from time to time that you can't plan for, you can't see. And you might be able to deal with on your own, but probably you can't. So you're going to need some help. So ask for help as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I think we all relate to our parents. Like, I can certainly relate to my dad. Maybe you can as well. Before GPS. Mm-hmm. And, oh, no, the rink's right around the corner here. Blah, blah, the big map out.
Yeah.
And he kept driving and driving.
No one wants to stop and ask for directions. He pulls over.
Finally, he agrees to pull over at a gas station, and he's blown.
Everyone's swearing.
So before things snowball into trouble, identify the problem and ask. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. Ask for help.
Like, I look at this school, and this is the place to ask for help.
Oh, for sure.
It's
a world of
figure it out.
opportunities.
And even if it doesn't have to do with school.
Yeah.
People are here to be people and to help in life.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
We should put that as a quote for the girls. Stop and ask for help.
Help's the best.
Love it. We've been talking a lot about sports and its impact on kids and what it means for them in school and the characteristics that it drives. But leadership in sports is really demanding. And I think that's why, if you look at the data around CEOs, they have two things in common. One, they play competitive sports. Mm-hmm. And two, they've actually been in camps. Interesting fact.
In camps.
Camps, like campers, like camp leaders,
okay.
sleepaway camps. Sure. They've kind of had this leadership opportunity, and
mm-hmm.
they played sports. It's two things that CEOs have in common.
Mm-hmm.
And you became the captain of the Flyers at a really young age and required a ton of leadership. How did you approach that responsibility? I mean, it's early in your career and you're suddenly expected just to let's go. You're leading this team. That's a lot.
So I was lucky. I had guys like Kevin Deneen, who was the former captain and a great, great person. He helped me a lot. Dave Brown, another teammate. The older guys help you.
Right.
They will help you through. They'll let you fail. There's no question about it. You will fail. So they'll let a few things slide, but they're there. That's how you learn. Yeah. And they're not big things, right? Yeah. They if it's something critical, they will stop in and say, "Listen, I really want you to rethink this. This might not be the right way." But in terms of playing on the ice,
yeah,
it's the same stuff as when you were 12.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You just want to. What can I do to be effective every shift? What can I do this shift? How can I stand out? How can I help the team and be super effective?
Yeah.
And then if it didn't work out, then come back. Well, sometimes you just don't touch the puck in a shift. That's fine. It's the way the shift went. You didn't see the puck. Mm-hmm. You still had a great shift.
Right.
Right. So what's going on the next one? Yeah. Right. That's just. But it's being exposed to it early and understanding that you can get people to buy in to a common goal.
And don't be afraid to make some mistakes. It's normal in leadership, and you're going to recover from them.
Yeah.
And it sounds like also...
And don't be critical. If you're not if you're on the outside, it's not easy. So don't be too critical of what's going on. It just causes a ripple effect and a crack in your team.
Yeah.
And
that's a real thing.
They're trying. No one wakes up in the morning and says, "Oh, I can't wait to do a crappy job." So
it's going to be a terrible day.
They might be doing a crappy job, but there's a way to go around and to steer the ship a little bit or to help out where they can get over that and continue on to better things.
Well, we're going to have tons of leaders listening to this, school leaders and leaders from around the world. And you've seen, so just kind of piggybacking off of that, I know you've seen teams work together beautifully, and you've probably seen some times where there's a rift. Mm-hmm. So for the head of school out there, for the CEO, for the organizational leader, they're trying to build a healthy culture. Yeah. What are some warning signs that you've seen that rift is coming? What are some warning signs of a locker room that's not quite working? And how do you turn it around and build trust?
I think in a locker room, you watch who goes out to dinner with who.
You look for the social, political groups.
I think so. I think who lives close to each other, and there's a few things here and there that I think our tells, but the teams that really get along, they go out in big packs. And listen, not everybody likes to go out for dinner, and that's just the way they are.
Yeah.
Or that they might, we don't know what someone else is going through in life.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe, they're keeping it quiet that someone's ill that's close to them.
Right.
They're on the phone about some other situation.
Keeping it small.
Yeah. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So don't just judge and jump in and start a problem. Figure out
how to bring people together.
And accepting everyone's quirks too is massive. Not everyone does things the exact same way you do.
Right.
The one thing that you do want to ask of is that the intensity level with whatever you choose to do is high.
Yeah.
I think that's
respect.
the one, and the respect of it.
Yeah.
You can't perform at anything unless there's intensity.
Yeah. And how do you as a leader, let's say you see all these separate little, use the dinner analogy, all these separate little dinner groups, you're like, oh, this is like really not what I'm wanting for my team.
You have mandatory. You start with you get the team credit card and you say, listen, you turn it around. You don't say it's you. You grab the team credit card and say, hey, the team wants to get everyone together.
Everyone loves a free meal.
It's out of it because obviously if there's not everyone's happy all the way through the lineup.
Right.
So you say it's coming from the top, and then everyone, and then you pick and you say to a couple of people where to sit, and you get sit over. You plan it ahead. What needs to happen so that the younger guys aren't sitting all together. Yeah. And
you don't have these little cliques forming. Mm-hmm.
The Euros aren't all in the one spot, and we're mixing it up.
Yeah, that's good advice. A lot of
I wasn't great. Like, listen, you make mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. In leadership, you mean with team building?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. It's hard not to. I mean, you're managing a team of people, all these different personalities. As you said, people are going through things you have no idea about. You can't control it. I mean, it's just rife for error, really. But I think it's about really...
But you're trying.
You're trying.
At least you're trying. Because the moment you stop trying, it's
all over.
Pulled up.
Yeah. I love that.
She's done.
She's all done.
Yeah.
A lot of students, they really feel, it's not just at our school, I think it's schools all over the world, they feel really wrapped up in their identity connected to things. Like their identity is in their grades, or their identity is in the sport they play, or they feel their identity is wrapped up in what they do after school and their extracurricula.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard. And when you retired, that must have been a big part of your identity, right? It was hockey.
Huge.
How did you shift that?
It takes time. There's no book to read or,
right.
For hockey players, little pamphlet to go through
what to expect in hockey retirement.
Well, exactly. So, and many struggle. And I had moments for sure. You do something full heart for so long, since you were 12 years old in the routine and now you wake up and instead of going to practice, there's no dressing room. There's no trainers to talk to. There's no
teammates.
So what are we?
How do you reframe?
What are we into? And some agents are helpful and checking in and seeing if they can get you into this but you got to be proactive.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from, the people that you're hanging out with at, off the ice or prior to it. Have you thought about this before you retired? Have you put a little bit of an action plan in place?
Right.
There's always courses that the Players Association takes out, has available for people to go through basic business skills.
Right.
Putting together business plans, the next steps. But, when you're in the game, very few guys are proactive in that sense. You have that, you want to have it in your head that I'm going to play for forever and I'm never going to get hurt and I don't care if there's a wall there. We're going through it and it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. And that's the mentality. And we a lot of times don't plan well enough. I got lucky. I got involved with the Players Association. They were going through a turbulent time. I ended up being I got lucky to be involved with the Players Association. Unfortunately, I ended up with the ombudsman's job. And then yes.
That sounds fun.
Great time. I did that for, But it needed it. The Players Association, needed it, and we needed to try to straighten the ship. And
you would have had to use all your skills.
It was interesting, and even it was. There are a lot of good things, and a lot of good people, and people that I have tons of respect for. I got a chance to work with, and people, we meet every Christmas. The group from the Players Association, we go for lunch, and we see each other at rinks from time to time, and they come to the Easter Seals, and they're it's great. So I'm really happy that I was there for retiring, and then prior to that, restructuring. What we had as a not the collective bargaining agreement, but just our structure within as an organization. We're working off the 1946 Pipe Fitters Association rules.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we had to
kind of freshen that up a little bit. Just a tad.
Yeah. So,
well, your legacy will obviously be connected to hockey, but also will be, I think, connected to Rowan's Law and concussions.
Rowan's Law is doing well.
Yeah.
It's stalled, unfortunately, a little bit here in terms of spreading it nationally.
Right.
And I don't know why. I think Tim Fleischer is going to really put a push in here in the next 3 months. I think we're going to start to see the wheels start spinning up again, and
so important.
And some action. Well, it just unifies things, and the information is easy to share. And there's really no difference between a concussion here in Ontario and one in Manitoba.
Right.
So if it's a living, breathing will, and someone else a living, breathing bill,
right,
and someone has a better idea,
right,
let's hear it. Let's make this
let's make it agile.
Let's make it right, because that's how it was written. It was written to move and change depending on what was best for the situation, and a lot of it depends on every 4 years they meet in Zurich and the top doctors get together on protocols and things like that. So those protocols right away that those doctors say to the world are put right into the law, and then the law is altered and changed based on the medical.
And then we've got consistency across Canada. So when I think about like your career shift, how you've reframed after you've retired, really like your goal, so to speak, was like winning games, but now it's protecting lives. Well, that's a big shift.
Listen, you're going to get concussions.
Right.
You're going to play hard. You're going to play a sport with contact. You're going to get You're going to get hit.
Right.
Now there's certain ways to deal with them after.
Right. And that's what makes the difference.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. How do we deal with them? How are we upfront? Are we honest both as an athlete and as an organization? Key. Are we, how do we accomplish this? How do we get that player back feeling 100% without cutting corners?
Yeah. Yeah. And with the right education.
Well, it takes, in many cases, like Sidney Crosby waited a whole year. He got hit and he was out a whole year.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So the mentality has changed and things have
thank goodness.
Yeah.
What do you want our parents of kids who play these high contact sports? And
they're going to happen. Concussions are going to happen.
Yeah.
Get on them right away. Ask for help.
Treat them seriously.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
And if they're happening at a young age.
Yeah.
And oh my God, we got the silver stick, or we got this, or we got that. It's a great big tournament. Maybe we'll just keep us quiet. Or this, that. Listen, like get on Kijiji. There's not many brains out there for sale, right? It's so we gotta be careful of.
Yeah.
We have to be careful.
And if you see one on Kijiji, maybe don't buy
probably
it.
Not.
Probably not.
Just touch it first.
Yeah. Just give us people. I think that's such good advice, though. It's like, the temptation will be there for our elite athletes to play through it.
Everyone does. You bring in money, you bring in the monetary element of this.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the dangers.
So that's why I started with the honesty of the athlete, the honesty of the organization. I love that you started with that. So it's on the, you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. And I really love that you brought up Sidney Crosby taking off that year. Because it's such good modeling for our
Pittsburgh.
athletes.
Pittsburgh is like when Mario was in there, it was, it's a good spot.
Well, I've really loved talking to you. It's been really fun. And we'll wrap up with just one more question. Then we've got some rapid fires that'll be really fun. But one more question. We'll do our little handguns. Okay. But what do you want our parents to know about sports in school? Like
sports in school.
Yeah. Like why is it important? Why is it important?
Because why is athletics important to a kid?
Yeah.
I think your body is healthier.
Yeah.
I think your your ability to absorb the information that the teachers are offering
Mm-hmm.
grows.
Yep. Healthy body, healthy mind.
The ability to work together and work with others.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Massive. I think that's why so many CEOs have been athletes.
But you don't have to be a superstar.
No.
It's okay. You don't have to. Just do your best.
Yeah.
And you will be respected and acknowledged for doing your best, no matter what level that is. There's whoever there that we can count on them.
Yeah.
They're not here. They're here, but that's such an important part of it. That's all they can give. So that's great.
Yeah.
Right? That's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're giving your all.
I love that. I think it's such an important message for our community to hear around athletics. And it's so much more than winning the sport. It's about everything that's underpinning it and the translation and the transfer of skills. Okay, should we get our finger guns back out for rapid fire?
Okay.
Here we go.
What do we got?
Okay, Eric, what song do you play on repeat? Because we have a Spotify playlist and we're going to add your song to it.
Oh, it's not. I don't have a choice anymore.
You don't?
Not really.
Because of your
Sophie.
kids? Oh, what is she into?
What is she? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. She's got a bunch going on. She has 3 of them that just cycle through, and I can't take it.
You know what? We're going to ask her.
That's
the song we're going to add to the playlist.
Good.
What's a guilty pleasure that you'll never give up?
Guilty pleasure. Well, say if I say it, then I'd love to get to fish camp.
The fish game?
Fish camp. I love
camp.
to take time to go to fish camp.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're a real fisherman.
Well, there's more to fishing than just that. It's just
the being away,
it's
being
being
there.
away and having it's just a whole different environment.
Yeah.
You know, your phone doesn't work. And,
unplug.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
I think that's a really if you're going to have a guilty pleasure, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
If you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would it be?
I don't know. Let's go Carney.
Oh, no one said that yet.
Let's go Carney.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I like that. Best piece of advice that you've received?
Be open to receiving advice. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And the last one, in like a word or a phrase, what do you want to be remembered for?
I don't know about you, but I see it more and more. People are tired. They're coming home and we complain about it behind the scenes, but we're not proactive in doing anything to change.
Right.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's a perfect way to end as well. Thank you so much. I had so much fun. I knew this was going to be fun, but this was a great way to start the day. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and be on the podcast. I can't wait for our students to hear your wonderful messages, and it's really going to resonate with them. Sophie will be proud. And I'm excited for leaders to listen to this, for parents to listen to this, to really get an insider's view of the impact sports has had on you and how it's so much more than just the sport. And what a pleasure and honor to talk to you today.
It's great to be here.
No,
Thanks for having me.
So good to have you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to all of our listeners and anyone who's watching on YouTube. Thank you for taking the time to listen. We're so honored you could be here. And big thank you again to Eric Lindros. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.